everyone, welcome. How's everybody doing today? So happy to have you all. I decided to do this live because I have extra time today, and I love going live with you all. So this is my gratitude appreciation. Please make sure that you like the live, and if you want to share it to somebody that you think might like it too, that would be very helpful. Yeah, let's get into it. So I'm doing Diddy's Friends live. Um, Diddy has been in lots of hot water. I've been almost 100% accurate in what I predicted about Diddy from literally the timeline to when he would get um, shackled. You know what I mean? I don't want to say that because YouTube might take down my video or live. So I wanted to expand on his friends because a lot of people have been talking about why is Diddy the only one being implicated, and I have my theories. I have done some lives about that in the past. So I wanted to just expand on that, what I believe, and all that jazz. So please make sure you like it. Welcome everybody. Please make sure you like the video. I do know that I have another video premiering right now, so I know obviously you can't make both, but I was going to wait to go live, but I want to get up early in the morning. So yeah, I have to go to bed early tonight. No doom scrolling, excuse me, at night. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with, I made little labels of different people, of the different friends, and I did predict, this is about Carisha, I did predict that, sorry, let me do it away from the microphone, because sometimes when I watch the live, I'm like, oh my gosh, I was shuffling the cards right next to the microphone. I feel bad for you all. So what I did predict was that he's going to marry Carisha and basically transfer her a lot of the money. So I'm just going to pull up the energy between them right now. I also want to read her chart because I saw she was a Sun in Aquarius. She's, what, 5 years younger than I am? I'm going to show you guys. 2. So she's his girlfriend, one of his girlfriends, that has defended him through thick and thin, which I find very interesting. So let's see, her sun is, well, time unknown. The sun is in Aquarius, moon is in Pisces. Interesting. Very interesting. But the moon can change because, depending if she's born at night or during the day, the moon can definitely change. So just keep that in mind that this is just based off of midday. Usually they're based off of midday. So if she's born in the middle of the day. And they just do that to see. It's the most accurate if it's in the middle of the day, obviously because you have before that and after that. But it's not always 100%. For example, if I were born, I think an hour later, I'd be a moon in Scorpio because I'm literally on the cusp of moon in Scorpio. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so the energies that I picked up. Oh, hi, Didi. How are you? So nice to see you. I'm so grateful for you. You're such a sweetheart. I appreciate you so much. A lot. Thank you for being a member too. It really helps. Helps a lot. How was your weekend, by the way? Today's Wednesday, right? Oh my gosh. Well, how has your week been? Like, what day is it? I was spinning yesterday, guys. I like to go to Soul Cycle. I'm not gonna say which one because I don't want anybody stalking me. Not that you guys would stalk me, but I have had stalkers in the past, and it's not fun. So I like to keep my locations private. But I went spinning yesterday, and oh my gosh, my arms and my legs are on fire right now. So that's the only thing that's bothering me. I feel like my muscles are playing catch up. My internet's so slow right now. My weekend was good. Thanks for asking. How about yours? Mine was great. Thank you so much. I'm glad to remember. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so the energy that I pick up, current energy of Carisha, is. We'll go back to her banner. is Five of Cups, the Devil, and Ace of Cups. So I get the strong energy that she feels like she has to fight to be his number one. She wants to be his number one because that's the shadow side of Aquarius. I'm a Sun Aquarius. My birthday is in exactly a month. Crazy. February 6th. Insane. I was like, oh my gosh. I was about to say, my birthday's in. I have to book my trip this weekend. Oh my gosh. Well, not to go this weekend, but for my birthday. So yeah, I can relate. I've had to do a lot of work about this. Sometimes Aquarius, we can come off as pick-me's because some of us, we feel abandoned by one or both of our parents growing up. So we always have to kind of overextend ourselves. Not always, but we fall into a pattern of having to overextend ourselves to certain people, especially to people who are kind of mean to us. It actually reminds me of a relationship. It wasn't like this, okay? I was in a relationship with a Capricorn for quite some time, and I I say quite some time because I don't want to incriminate him in any way because it wasn't anything. He wasn't like Diddy, but the dynamic was where I felt like I had to prove myself to him because I didn't feel worthy. And I think Carisha, she doesn't feel worthy. It's very sad. It's very, very, very sad. So Queen of Pentacles, Eight of Swords, and Three of Cups. She's going to act. I can relate. Oh my gosh. Act like his friend, but like trying. Like his, Bonnie and Clyde, ride or die, But he's just never going to see her like that. And that's something I think we need to teach not just our daughters, but our sons too, that if somebody doesn't show up for you the way that you think you should be shown up for, it's not about you. If you do your best, if you try, you're a good person, you do everything you're supposed to, which I would kind of question if she is a good person or not. But that's between her and her higher power. But there's only so much that somebody can love you with while you're trying to force them to love you. If that makes any sense. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope it does. So yeah, that's what I see happening is that she has this idea, because the reason I want to do this, because people ask, how does Diddy still have people around him? How does he still have supporters? There's a lot, he feeds a part of us that we need to be fed. Except for Cassie, she was in a DV situation. I always tell people this, DV is the one thing I don't think I could get over in a relationship. I have so much empathy for women who go through that. Men too, because both can go through it. It's tough. It's really, 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 really tough. That kind of situation is. I don't think I'd be able to get over it, honestly. I think I would, but it would take a lot. So I have a lot of empathy for people who go through it. Let's just say that. So, yeah. So Carisha, I definitely feel like he's different with her. I don't know why. I think she acts like she's one of his homies, but he's different with her. I don't even think he's that like physical with her, if you know what I mean. So let's move on to the second. Well, she's not a friend, but she was a girlfriend, Jennifer Lopez. I'm gonna add her now. Her chart and her current energy. So first I want to pull her current energy. I'm using the Moon Child Tarot, and then we'll go through what the cards say. What her astrology is in the card. So people have asked, why did how was J-Lo able to get away? And I think she was able to get away because she was number one well known. She had the machine behind her, but also she set specific boundaries from the beginning. And she wasn't employed under him. I think his people that were employed under him, he could treat them a certain type of way. Now, let's read her chart. So with Sun in Leo, Moon in Scorpio, and Venus in Gemini, North Node in Pisces. My North Node's also in Pisces, it's funny. It's only funny because I'm not like her, but I see how if I were narcissistic and very selfish, I could be like her, you know? But I always tell my friends this, I don't have any fire in my chart, but I think if I had Leo in my chart, I would be very, you wouldn't want to deal with me, that's all I'm going to say. So if I had I'm double Aquarius, so if I was an Aquarius sun, and Leo moon, and a North Node in Pisces, the rest of my chart, if I had Leo in any of those aspects, I think I would be very, very narcissistic. But my Earth humbles me in my chart. Excuse me. And my Earth humbles my air because air with fire has this. I don't know if you have met people that have a lot of air in their chart and then has lots of fire. They tend to be very selfish and kind of like know-it-alls. So, and I see that with just a lot of Sun Aquarius I see that have Leo on their chart. I'm like, I get it. So that's what I always tell people about the Leo aspect. Because Leos can be very difficult people. Very, very difficult. So the Three of Cups, Page of Swords, and Four of Swords. She's trying to protect herself from him. Four of Swords. And anything to do with him. I think that even her manager, people ask them questions. And she's like, you can't ask me that question. Or she's very good at avoiding questions too. The Emperor, High Priestess, and Ace of Wands. She's giving the advice to other people or to people who have anything to do with any kind of questions or any press she does. Don't ask about Diddy. Don't ask about Diddy. Because I see that it might be Benny Medina. He might be an Aries. But let me look that up actually. Benny Medina. When his birthday is. He's an Aquarius, and he has the same birthday as my sister. Insane. Let me look at his full chart. He definitely has Aries in his chart. I would not think he's an Aquarius. I met him a long time ago with, what's her name? Tyra Banks. I met them. He came to me a long time ago. I used to work for like a very strict chef. He's a famous chef. Moon Pisces. Let me see. It's not giving me a lot, but I think he's Aries. Okay, so he says his chart's 26% 24% fire. I was just talking about that. It's so funny. But 34% water. But he was just I forgot that I met him, and I remembered this recently. They were like mean girls. Like Tyra Banks especially, I was so put off of her. I used to love that CW show, what was it called? America's Next Top Model. I used to love that show. Love. Let me tell you, like love. I used to love the CW. And I met her after I stopped watching it, 2010, 2011. And she came to this, it was in Soho. I don't think this place exists anymore, I have to look. But they were both so nasty, so nasty. I was like, oh my gosh, that's Tyra Banks. And then my colleague was like, yeah, that's Benny Medina. I think Benny Medina's Dominican because he said that. My colleague was like, yeah, he's Dominican. I think he's Dominican. Let me see. But my colleague was like, he's such an awful representation of Dominican people. And I was like, yikes. I don't think, yeah, he's Dominican, you see? And how would I have known that unless I, because I remember that night. It was a long time ago, but I remember. Because my colleague was like, yeah, he gives Dominican, because he was Dominican. He was like, gives Dominican people such a bad representation. I was like, oh, I don't know anything about that, so I can't say anything. But I was just like, that was, we were doing, you know how it is, if you ever worked in a restaurant and at the end of the shift, you talk about it and you're like, oh, this person came in, how were they, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and I was like, Tyra Banks is Tyra. They said some other like really mean things too, so I'm gonna get into that. Oh, hi, Brian. How are you? So nice to see you. Happy to have you guys. My internet's a little wonky today. I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna do the best I can. Okay, so this is my second live this week or my first? When did I go live? I went live on Monday, right? Yeah. Okay, second live. I'm trying to do 2 lives a week and 3 long videos. So just to hit, I like to have goals. Not that it really matters that much. I love what I do, but I just like to set goals for the channel. Okay, so let's move on to the next person. But yeah, so I just think in conclusion, she had a machine behind her that these other women didn't have, unfortunately. Which goes to show, they say, oh, don't fight the bully, but bullies don't mess with people that fight back or have people behind them. So I'm big on, ever since I was a kid, I've been big on, you bully me, I bully you right back. You're doing good, the lives. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, sweetheart. You're so sweet. I really appreciate. These lives are so fun. Lives have always been fun. I just didn't have a lot of time. Before, my old job was very taxing. I didn't realize how physically taxing it was. Because I used to do a lot more lives. Before I started working there, I used to do 3 lives a week. But yeah, and it was a very dramatic place with a lot of drama. That kind of stuff weighs you down because you have to think about it. But thank God I have a great job now, so I don't have to worry about internal drama, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so let's get into Naomi Campbell. I'm going to show her chart. How's your week been, Brianne? I'd love to hear how your week is. I went to the laundromat, right? I think I told you guys this on Monday. And I got bitten by mosquitoes, like bitten. Florida, especially where I live, Miami, it doesn't really get cold, but last week was cold. So I think this week they're all out to bite, and my legs are completely bitten. Oh, that's good to hear. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's look at her chart. I think Naomi Campbell is one of the most beautiful women on earth. She's so gorgeous. Oh, she was born in Stratum. Okay, nice. So she's a Sun in Gemini, Moon in Sagittarius, rising in Capricorn. Lots of Gemini in her chart. Lots of her chart. It explains a lot. I used to watch that show she did, The Face, and she was oh my god, I had to stop watching it because I was like, why is she so mean? And it's funny, in some certain circumstances. Sometimes I'm like, yo, she's like really, really, really mean. But something I've had to accept, like especially about Black culture, is that we are raised sometimes to be mean. And people think it's funny, but it's like, especially, I don't want to speak for other people or for other people, about other people, but I just think as a collective, sometimes our mothers are like really mean to us to prepare us for the world, but it makes us mean to other people. And I see that with Naomi Campbell, that I have a strong inkling that her mother was mean to her for her to be tough, but it made her like mean. Oh, hi Jessica, how are you? Welcome. Nice to see you. Very nice to see you. What's that emoji that you did? That's cute. Yeah, so that's the thing. I just see that culturally amongst immigrant parents, black parents, because her mother's Jamaican, right? Oh, that's cute. Yeah, so that's what I see. That happens quite often. Not often, but like it's a often enough. My mother was the same way, and I'm not that way. Or yeah, sometimes black mothers they do that to us. They make us very. Uh, they have this mentality, and I see that with Naomi Campbell because Naomi Campbell reminds me of my cousin a lot. What some people I used to be me when I was younger because I had learned that, and I had to get out of that. Like I tell people all the time, I had to practice compassion, empathy. But a lot of black mothers will raise us without empathy and like just carry on, and it's a way of survival. But inside, there's a lot of hurt that gets spread onto other people. Because when you're hurting, all you can give to other people is hurt. So I see that with Naomi Campbell, that I think she was raised in a very stern way, harsh way. And inside there's hurt, like toxic hurt, you know. Anyways, that's just my side piece about Naomi Campbell. And I think it comes from the mentality of, okay, if I break you, nobody else can. But it doesn't work like that. That's so outdated, when I see that. Because if you break your child, if you don't have a strong, like if your child doesn't have a good support system, that you are only hurting them more. You're giving them more reasons to, I don't know, to just never really truly heal as a human being or contribute anything positive. I don't believe in the when I see parents like being too sweet to their kids, I'm like, But just listen to your child, give them boundaries. I'm not a parent yet, but it's one day I hope to be. I hope to adopt actually quite soon, knock on wood. But that's the thing, just from what I've seen, interactions, and from being a child myself before, obviously, I don't know. But I don't know fully because I'm not practicing it. And I'm sure easier said than done. But just from things I've seen, when I see my friends' interactions, when I see people like Naomi Campbell, people, like I mentioned, my cousin's very much like her, is that I see the difference between, especially when I see American kids, I'm like, wow, some of them are spoiled 100%. But when you believe in your child, like when I see Tom Brady, just for example, when he talks about his parents, I mean, I saw an interview he did a while ago. I see him speak about his parents believed in him and they had fulfilled in him. And I'm like, I wish my parents did that, because obviously shoulda, woulda, coulda. But when you walk differently when people believe in you. You achieve more when people believe in you, especially when it's your family. So, just want to say that. Okay, so let's get into Naomi Campbell, her current energy towards Diddy. Have you healed from that, Brianne, your mother being like that? Because I see a lot of black mothers. It's pain. My aunt and I have always had a stigma that because you're light skinned, along with my aunt Halle Berry, we don't associate with black. What? Can you explain that a little further? I hope you're not trolling, Jessica. I would like to hear what you have to say. But just please make sure you're not trolling because I will block you. Okay, so Sun in Gemini, Naomi Campbell, how does she feel towards Diddy? Okay, so she believes that Diddy's gonna have a second chance. I see that strongly. Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups. It made me want to be understand. Yeah. That's how I feel. Is that I'm just, whenever the day comes, whenever the day comes, because I'm sure it will, when my child says to me, "You haven't done this right," and I this happened to me. I feel this way because you did this to me when I was a child, or something like that. Um, blames me for something, that I might have been unaware of. I will apologize. And I think lots of the time when parents, especially black parents, it happen a lot. They'll never say sorry. They'll never for what they did, or admit to wrongdoing, because then it's looked at as the dynamics of you're not my child anymore. And it's like, no, that's not what that means. You can still be an adult. In fact, that's what it means to be an adult, to apologize and to hear people out, because just because you have a child does not mean that they are your property. So yeah, same thing. I plan on being more understanding with my future children. So I love that you said that, Brian. I really love you said that. You're such a sweetheart. I appreciate you so much. Okay, so she has this idea, Naomi Campbell, that Diddy's gonna have a second time, and she's telling him that behind the scenes. That people, this is intuitive, what I'm saying. 10 of Cups is done Harrison. That he's gonna get a second chance. And he's telling her, I'm in love with this woman. I think he's talking about Carisha. When I marry her, he's like, if you've ever been around people, and I'm not judging, it's just a specific type of personality type that indulges in COKE, they tend to be very grandiose. And I see that a conversation where they get into it, like they do COKE together, and they get, not currently, but I think before, and they get each other riled up, and they're like, yeah, that's it, she's going to stand by Diddy. And one day she's going to come out and say, that's my friend. When everything, well, more charges are coming. But one day we're going to hear she's going to say, that's my friend. I look forward to having children to raise them in a nurturing, healthy environment. I love that. I really love that. I really love that. Naomi Campbell seems to be in 100%. But in the black community, I don't know what it is, but there's certain communities that enable this behavior. Somebody wrote such an amazing comment on my video that I did of, who was it? Nicki Minaj, the last one I did, the last live. That was on Saturday, right? And on Monday, when was it? I can't remember. But anyways, the last time I did, it was on Monday. It was about Nicki Minaj and her future. And people said the black community is more angry with her that she joined TPUSA than they are Diddy. And it's so true. I'm like, hello? Even though I don't agree with Nicki Minaj and TPUSA thing, that is her prerogative. It just is her prerogative. She's not committing a crime. Diddy literally committed a crime. But anyways. But yeah, so I see that a lot in the black communities that we allow. And every community has its things. I talk about that too. But we do enable bad behavior. And I don't know what it is. I really don't know why. But that's what happens. Okay, so let's go to Usher now. But that's a very good comment, Brian. Thank you so much for that. Let's go to Usher. So he's a sun in Libra, Moon in Pisces, Venus in Scorpio, and North Node in Virgo. I've seen Usher 4 times live. I've gotten tickets like as gifts to see him. I had an ex that surprised me. Actually, 10 years ago, that was the last time I saw him live. I had an ex surprise me and got me tickets to see him. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. And he was like, oh yeah, we're going to... It was actually such a cute surprise. And I usually don't like surprises, but if it's for certain things like that, that's cute. But yeah, I've seen him 4 times, and he always uses like very sexual energy, very Libra energy. Libras can be very seductive. don't know how people. No, they're not good. I'm not gonna go. That's his. That's between him and his wife. Okie dokie. So let's get into his energy towards Diddy. We need the lightest tarot for this. Okay, my internet, sorry, keeps going in and out. But okay, so his energy, Knight of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, is that I think Usher got to a certain point. I think this is my opinion. He was, you know, when the ABUSED becomes the ABUSER, that's what I think Usher happened. And what happened to Usher, excuse me. And I just think he is at the point now he's just like, I just want to make my money. That's all I want to do. He did have a really, really good Super Bowl. Oh my gosh. 2 years ago? Who was this year? Do you guys remember? I forgot who was this year, but last year he was so good. Who was this year? Do you guys remember who was Super Bowl? Because I completely forgot. I was like, oh, it was Kendrick Lamar. It's not a good one. Oh, and I do like Kendrick Lamar, but that was not a good Super Bowl. I'm looking forward to Bad Bunny's a lot. I think it's gonna be great. So I see him. He's just like, I'm just gonna do money. I'm just gonna make my money, and just kind of, which Libras are very good at. You know, you can see it as a blessing or a curse. They're very good at just sticking to what they need to get by. Which, with my rising in Libra, I could lean more into. But they can be extremely selfish sometimes and just not even be fazed by anything of substance, you know. Okay, that's that's the last thing I'm going to say negative about Libras. I promise. I think I should join a Libra support group. Wow, I got the cards again. Crazy. Yeah, he just wants to focus on. In fact, what's going to happen is that his name is going to come out, right? In something. And he's going to say, oh no, I'm donating. As a distraction, he's going to donate to some kind of organization, charity, Page of Cups, Nine of Swords, and the Lovers. He's going to donate to it and say that he's going to try to. I don't see his wife staying with him, actually. That's how bad one of the allegations is going to be. Which, I mean, he's had a lot of allegations out against him. And I don't believe all of them, but it's like, where's this smoke, there's fire, you know? But anyways, not always, but in most cases. Okay, so let's move on to the next person. Okay, DJ Khaled. Let's see his chart. Let me see. Oh my gosh, okay. I've never done DJ Khaled's chart. He gives me very fake vibes, DJ Khaled. Which, I mean, not judge. That's just the energy that I get. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. Okay, so he's born in New Orleans, Louisiana, United States, November 26th. He's Sun in Sagittarius. I have no idea. I thought he was Aries. He gave me Aries energy. Oh, his Chiron is in Aries. And his Jupiter's in Aries. So his Sun in Sagittarius, Moon in Virgo. I think his rising is probably in Aries too. And Venus in Libra. So there have been a lot of rumors about the two of them together. You know what I mean? In fact, there was that guy, Jonathan Odie. Let me see if I can pull it up. And I believed him. He's actually South African, which I think is so funny. He has an IMDb? What? Oh, it was West Palm Beach. So during COVID in 2020, this video came out, or 2019, around that time. Because I remember watching Lovely T covered it. There you go back. But this guy, who was confirmed later to be telling the truth, alleged that Diddy and DJ Khaled were like together in certain circumstances. I'm going to read you guys exactly what it says. I'm going to share it with you. Internet's so slow. Okay. I can't tell you everything because, I don't want to get this demonetized. But you guys can look for yourselves. Oh my gosh, all these ads. So, Diddy's ex-slave. Crazy. And people didn't believe him. I was like, I believe him. I'm telling you. This story contains discussions of, all that kind of stuff. But in a video, Audie's interrogation by Florida authorities posted online, Audie claimed he'd been a for Combs and then girlfriend. He then went on to state, I had with Cassie and Sean, because basically he would and tell me what to do to Cassie. I had like 15 encounters and I had lots of business. I was a for them. That's what I was. Yeah. So he spoke about DJ Khaled. So go watch it. It was like 1,800 each time. 800. So it looks like they're paying them different prices. That's the thing about Miami. I love Miami. I love it mostly because of the nature, and I live right by the water. So like, but there is a dark side to all big cities, really. Because New York is. But the thing about Miami is more in your face. It's more in your face. I get dressed and I'm in a police officer costume. I strip down. Okay, I'm not gonna get too much into it. But he spoke about the baby oil. He spoke about all of it, and it checked out. Everybody's testimony checked out. So I wouldn't be surprised if Mr. We the Best was romantically involved with Diddy. So let's get into his current energy. DJ Khaled. How he feels towards. He's in a lot of hot water too because a lot of Palestinians have come out and said, "Why aren't you defending my people?" Which I kind of see both sides, honestly. I don't like it when celebrities speak about politics. I mean, the Palestinian thing isn't about politics, just about humanity, in my opinion. But, for example, my parents are South African, right? I don't really consider myself South African because I haven't lived there a long time. I'm very Americanized. But if something were to happen in South Africa, I don't know if I would feel compelled to say something publicly. Or maybe I would. I don't know. I just don't think people should be forced to say and to do things. I'm not big into that. Okay, so let's see his energy towards Diddy. Okay. So, stay on the timer. Let me take off the timer. Oh my god, it's so annoying. Okay, there we go. I put on the timer. I don't know why. So, Six of Coins, which is Pentacles in his deck, the High Priestess, and King of Cups. So he's going to have this energy of like, I'm fine, everything's cool. Knight of Swords, he's going to help Diddy. Let's see what way. to connect him with some kind of lawyers. I think after the situation, especially after the Netflix documentary, Diddy's lawyers are fed up with him, and they want to. I think that's why they pushed for this last thing that they did. If you haven't kept up with it, Diddy pushed for something recently where he wants to get out of where he is right now. If you know where he is, I mean, like the P place. So 7 of Swords, 10 of Wands, King of Wands. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work at all. But Khaled's help, in my opinion, intuitively, Khaled is helping him get out of prison by getting new lawyers. So, yeah, this is intense, very intense. Okay, so next one's Ashton Kutcher, who I used to have such a crush on. I say this all the time. I never used to have crushes on actors. I don't know why. It was more singers. But Ashton Kutcher, oh my god, I used to have such a huge crush on him. I don't even know why. I'm looking back, I'm like, what? What was I thinking? But I suppose it was that era, like with Punch and everything. I think it was that era that everybody had a crush on Ashton Kutcher. We realized how creepy, how creepy he is. Okay, so February 7th, the day after my birthday, 1978. So he's almost 50. Oh my gosh, crazy. So, okay, Sun in Aquarius, Moon in Aquarius, rising in Gemini. We almost have the same chart. Venus in Aquarius. Oh my gosh. Okay, Uranus is different, Neptune is different. I'm like, oh my god, I almost have the same chart as this guy. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. The big four is almost the same. Exactly the same, except my rising is in Libra, his is in Gemini. So I can see his rising being in Gemini. So let's see his energy towards Diddy. How's he feeling right now? I've been accurate. I've done a lot of Ashton Kutcher videos. I've been almost 100% accurate. So check those out too. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. This is very intense. So remember when they said that Diddy used to tape things? I wouldn't be surprised if he taped Ashton doing something he shouldn't have. 7 of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, and the Star. And he's afraid that Mila, that's her name, right? The wife, is going to find out. Wow. Ace of Pentacles. So I think he's even offered him money to keep that footage. Oh my gosh. I was not expecting that. Wow. That is intuitive based, not fact based, but that's what I see very strongly. Okay, so let's move on to two more. I'm going to do Lil Kim and I put timers on all these things and I don't know and I don't understand how to get them off. Say it with me, friends. Are we surprised? I actually am. I don't know why, but I actually am surprised. I mean, I always had this idea of Ashton Kutcher that he was like this cool guy. He reminds me of an ex I have, and I suppose that ex. Let me not speak badly about my exes. He was very manipulative to me, and he was kind of like not very nice to me actually. Anyways, I don't want to go to the past. But I always had this idea that he was like this. But no, I'm not surprised. Because look at Punk'd, you know? Punk'd is basically the same thing. But even with, I'm just remembering that clip that came out when they were talking about Hillary Duff. We're talking about Hillary Duff, but they said she's almost legal. Who were they talking about? And I was like, I can't believe I used to have a crush on this guy. Crazy. Okay, so let's move on to Lil Kim, because this one I'm actually really interested in. I really feel like Lil Kim, bless her heart. She's really, and it makes sense she's Sun and Cancer. I say it all the time. Sun and Cancers really struggle in relationships. They really, they go through the ringer in relationships. So she was born in NYC, so she's from Harlem. Kimberly Denise Jones, born July 11th, 1974 or 1975, I don't know age. Known by her stage name Lil Kim, is an American rapper, singer, songwriter, record producer, model, and actress. She was born and raised. I forget Brooklyn. I shouldn't forget this because that's where I was born. She actually has a very Brooklyn accent. Brooklyn, New York, living much of her adolescent life on the streets after being expelled from her home. In her teens, Kim would freestyle rap, heavily influenced by actress-singer Diana Ross and fellow female hip-hop artists like MC Lyte and the Lady of Rage. In 2012, she was honorably listed on VH1's 100 Greatest Women in Music list at number 45. I can't believe she's only number 45. Look, Kim is an icon. She's such an icon. Oh my gosh. I did not know she's from Brooklyn. Because I never really heard her speak, but now I'm thinking about it. She is definitely very Brooklyn. So her sun is in Cancer, moon is in Aries. Well, that depends what year she was born. So I think that they based it upon 1974, right? So this might not even be accurate. But let's just base it off of something in Cancer. And that's the thing about Sun and Cancers. I say it all the time, they're loyal to the wrong people. So let's see what this goes. I also saw that Misa Hilton is suing. Anyways, we'll get into that when we get to Mary J. Blige. But let's see, Lil Kim and Diddy energy. It's so sad, but I know even seeing Lil Kim, I'm like, she was so beautiful when she was younger. Really, really sad what she did to her face. People say, when I was a kid, right, for myself, I prefer to be darker. So I used to go into the sun a lot and I would burn my skin. That's why when I was a kid, you see pictures of me and I look very dark. Not very dark, but I just look darker. I think Naomi Campbell's complexion is the most beautiful complexion. So I always want to be dark like that, like chocolate, rich chocolate. So as I got older, I stay out of the sun and I obviously get lighter. So people always say to me, oh my God, you bleached your skin. I'm like, no, I didn't bleach my skin. I'm naturally lighter. I just used to go into the sun a lot. A lot. I used to like bake in the sun. But it's not good for you, you know. I pray. So then when I see people and they say, oh yeah, she bleached her skin, like Beyonce, they say she bleached her skin, but I don't think she bleaches her skin. I just think she stays out of the sun. So I don't like to jump to somebody bleach their skin, but something isn't right with Lil Kim. Something is definitely, it's sad. Brianna says, I pray that Lil Kim gets the healing she deserves. I know. Oh my God. When I see her, my heart breaks because I'm like, she was so beautiful. It's heartbreaking. So I'm using the good tarot for this with 10 of Wands, the Hangman and the Fool. She's been done with Diddy. I wonder what was the last straw. Maybe you guys know more than I do. I say this all the time. I love TV, so that's what I focus on. But I don't really focus, unless I watch documentary, like did documentary and they didn't talk about it, or personal stories, and I haven't heard any personal stories about them. I haven't heard. It's funny because being from New York or being born in New York, lived in New York a long time, I haven't heard any stories about Lil Kim. I've heard tons of stories about Diddy, tons of stories about Jay-Z, like personal stories. Tons about J-Lo, especially also because I live in Miami now. I think I hear more about J-Lo here than I do anywhere else. And a lot of people don't like her at all, like zero. Which is not very nice for me to say. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it to come across that way. But I just think it's so interesting that so many people. It's sad, honestly, the legacy you leave behind. So nobody, people say you're demanding, all that stuff. But anyway, so I've heard tons of stories, even about Mace. I heard stories about Mace, not bad stories, but just one of his people, one of his entourage, I used to be friendly with, and told me Diddy was taking his money, all that kind of stuff, a long time ago. So I've heard about everybody else but Lil Kim. I find that very interesting. So she's been done with him for a while. And Foxy Brown. I don't really care anything about Foxy Brown. So yeah, so she's been done with him for a while. Three of Cups, because something happened. He did something with their friendship. She was like, "That's it. I'm done with you." She really meant it. She really, really meant it. That's the Brooklyn in her. I forget. I mean, obviously, I don't forget that I was born in Brooklyn, and I feel like it does something to you when you're born in New York. But when people are unjust, when they are, injustice drives me insane. Or rudeness. Oh my gosh, I lose it. Today I was on the phone with somebody. I had to deal with somebody from the government talking about a situation, and I wanted to go in on him on the phone, but I had to calm myself down and remind myself that, it's not worth it. But that's the New York energy is very justice, 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 Right is right, wrong is wrong. So I can see that about her. And I can see her having an issue with him because of that. And like him being disloyal and her wanting to have his back. Okay, so let's move on to last but not least, Mary J. Blige. I've been interested, especially because I picked up Mary J. Blige in one of the readings with somebody that looked like her. So I've been interested to see what the update about her is in the situation. Also, tomorrow's my favorite show. I'm so excited. I was just thinking, I was like, why do I have to get up again? But I want to get everything done early so I can watch my show at night. Traitors, OMG. I hope you guys watch it too. It's so good. It's the best. I love murder stuff. Murder mystery. It's my favorite. Except if it's happening to, people I love and stuff like that. Different story. Okay, so let's get into, last but not least, Mary J. Blige. When is she? Oh, she's a sign Capricorn. I feel like they've always had a strange relationship, her and Diddy. And I remember when I was a kid, because I still love Mary J. Blige's music. She's also from New York. I think she's also from Brooklyn, right? I believe she's from Brooklyn too. Somebody might correct me. I'm almost pretty positive that she was born in Brooklyn. But anyway, so a long time ago, I remember I was a teenager and I used to love Mary J. Blige's music. Like love, 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 love. I could ask anybody who grew up around me. I've had all, except for her recent stuff, but up until 2007, I've had every Mary J. Blige album. That's how much I like Mary J. Blige's music. I know it sounds weird because it doesn't seem like I would, but I love Mary J. Blige's music. So I remember seeing an interview she did. I think it was Hot 97 or something a long time ago when I was a teenager. And she was talking about how Diddy screwed her over with money. He wouldn't pay her because she used to be signed to Uptown Records. I wish the documentary would talk also about that. Because I think that it's poignant and it has a lot to add to the amount of people Diddy screwed over. Mace, Mary J. Blige, all these people that monetarily he screwed over. And I get it, Cook Burrows was important. I actually hadn't heard of him. Somebody had told me, because I don't know if I told you guys the story. I had a friend who was a lot older than I was. In fact, in New York, most of my friends were older than I was. And he told me always say no to go to a Diddy party. So I said no, obviously, because I believe when I'm told not to do something, if it's going to be harmful to me, especially if it's by somebody that loves me and cares about me. So he told me a story. He was like, similar to what happened to Dame Dash and Jay-Z. Everybody knows that Dame Dash was screwed over by Jay-Z. Well, according to Dame Dash. So he said that he was like, I forgot how he referred to him as, but I always knew of this other business partner Diddy had that he had kind of pushed out of the way. And in the documentary, they revealed that it was Cook Burrows that he did that. So that was very fascinating. But I really wish they'd gone more into depth about the artist, Faith Hill. I love Faith Hill's music. Oh my gosh. I love Faith Evans, excuse me, not Faith Hill. I love Faith Hill's music too, but that's country. But Faith Evans, oh, I love her music. And their dynamic, and because she had come out and said that Diddy stole money from her. So it was around the same era, before Making the Band became really popular again, when all of his artists were leaving. Not again, but just became popular in general. 2003, 2001, 2002, 2003. A lot of artists were coming out and saying, Diddy stole my money. And one of them even tried to jump him. I forgot who it was. I think it might have been Jadakiss, someone like that tried to jump him and ask him where his money was. You guys might know the story. Actually, let me look it up, because I remember at that time I was very into music. Okay, who tried artist jumps ask Diddy for money? No. Maybe it was Mace. But I remember at that time, a lot of his artists were saying he doesn't pay us right, no, 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 no. And then I remember even there was like some kind of, I remember seeing this on MTV. I don't know if I saw after or while it was happening, because I used to watch MTV nonstop, like nonstop. But they were standing outside Bad Boy Records with placards and saying Diddy needs to pay, something like that. But this was like 20 years ago. Crazy. Crazy. That was 20 years ago. Oh my gosh. Crazy. Makes me feel old. Even though I don't feel old, I just feel old right now. Oh my goodness me. I was like, that was like 10 years ago. I'm like, no, that was 20 years ago. So something happened, and a lot of artists were coming out. Faith Evans came out, Mary J. Blige, and Mary J. Blige's fiance at the time, Kendu or something like that, who became her husband, said that he was going to do like books about how Diddy had been stealing. He said Uptown Records. He didn't say Diddy. He said how Uptown Records had stolen money from Mary J. Blige. He was very adamant about it. Yeah, it was he said because he was managing him, and he said Uptown Records was stealing money from her, and he was going to find it. That's what he said. But I remember that very strongly. Mary J. Blige was the soundtrack of my childhood. My sister's 9 years older than me. Oh, yeah, no, me too. My sister also used to really like Mary J. Blige, and she was 6 years older than I am, so it was a good time. Hi, Miss J. How are you? Happy New Year. I haven't seen you in a while. I'm actually early this time. I started early because I need to get up early tomorrow to work on my app and stuff like that. And then I have things to do in the evening. So I was going to do this tomorrow, but I have things to do in the evening. So I was like, let me just do this today, do it early so I can wake up early. I have a lot to get done tomorrow. But yeah, you're not late. I'm early. So yeah, so I remember that. I remember that so specifically. So let's look at her chart, and then I'll pull up some cards. So her sun is in Capricorn. Her moon is in Cancer. Venus is in Sagittarius. I have this fondness of her music, guys. Like, it reminds me during the summertime. So, summertime in South Africa is December, right? And during the summertime, my dad used to send us to my aunt's house, and she lived. I don't want to like talk. Okay, so I was raised very city-like, you know. My parents lived in the city of South Africa when I was in South Africa. But during December, for 2 weeks, we would go to stay with my aunt, and we'd stay in a suburban area. So it's less, so more suburbs, less city, and it was so fun. And that album, Family Affair, reminds me of those times when I was with my aunt and my cousins and my sisters. And we used to play hopscotch in the street, you know, silly times. We knew all our neighbors, and you know, so I have a very fondness to Mary J. Blige's music. And Faith Evans too. This is the blast. Um, Faith Evans. Okay, so I'm just pulling up my tarot cards. Oh, my nails are so long. Couldn't pick up my tarot cards. Okay, so let's see her energy towards Diddy. Why is she so quiet? She's quiet. But it makes sense if the Capricorn energy is just to focus on work. Her birthday is what? Today? Oh, it's on the 11th. So today's the 6th, right? Today's the 6th? Oh, it's the 7th. Okay. Just on 4 days. Whoa. From the way these cards are coming out, I feel like she has a lot to say, but she doesn't want to say it. Whoa. I get anger, lots of anger. Okay. Five of Wands, the World, and the Emperor. I think secretly she's happy he's being taken down. Let's just say that. Now that I'm thinking about it, her and 50 Cent are really close. How interesting is that? Does anybody know anything about that? Her and 50 Cent are really close. Wow. But I see her like kind of swearing at him over the phone. Wow. Getting really upset with him. Oh, Diddy's a thug, yo. The Moon, Six of Swords in reverse, and Page of Pentacles. He took money from her. In my opinion, what the tarot tells me is that he took money from her. A lot. She wants him to go down. But she kind of gave up. But now she's like, this is your karma. She's going to come out and talk about it. When everything settles, she has a lot to say. A lot. Where was she born? Let's see. Mary J. Blige. Because she gives me Brooklyn too. There's something about my Brooklyn girls. Very feisty. Or maybe Harlem. But she doesn't give me Harlem. I don't know. It's interesting. I can tell the difference between which borough somebody is from in New York. Fordham, yes. It's the Bronx. Yeah. She's from the Bronx. But I can tell the difference, how somebody is, depending on which borough they're from. But, yeah. Are we surprised? No. Right. No. But let me see if I can find something that speaks about it. It speaks about Mary J. Blige, money stolen by Diddy. There are rumors and unverified claims suggesting Diddy may have misused Mary J. Blige's money, but there's no confirmed legal action. I remember her fiance at the time came out and said, because I remember very specifically. That's when I used to watch MTV a lot. I was obsessed with MTV, so I remember everything, and it was on MTV News one time. I missed MTV. I cannot believe MTV's over. I cannot believe it. Do you guys feel like that? Oh, Miss J, you've been working? Oh, I'm sorry, boo. You said you're a Taurus, right? Sun and Taurus? Anything else? Blige has also spoken publicly about financial difficulties and being forced to pay her ex-husband Kendu Isaac's significant spousal support. Yeah, I know she had her issues with that guy too. Crazy. Crazy. Yes, Taurus Sun, Aries and Virgo rising. Yes, I do remember that. It was nice to see you, Miss J. I'm very happy to see you. Oh, I'm so happy for you. Wow, that's amazing. Yay, I'm so happy for you, Miss J. Miss J says, I'm won the 20K grant for my business in December. I'm so happy for you. You're a fellow New Yorker, Miss J. How can you tell the difference between each borough? Because I can tell the difference when I meet somebody from a different borough. Like I can tell somebody from Brooklyn, you know? And even though I grew up in different countries, I definitely, in my heart, feel very Brooklyn energy. You know, boho, don't mess with me. We're nice until we're not nice. You know, Manhattan. You know when people say people from New York are rude, they're talking about Manhattaners. They're talking about people from Manhattan. Those are the rude New Yorkers, and they're not rude. They're always on the run. You know. And then the Bronx is above that. And Bronx, I feel like two types of Bronx people. They're either very homely, family oriented, very sweet, kind, or they can be like J-Lo type, where they have something to prove because they're from the Bronx, and you know people from Brooklyn and Manhattan look down upon people from the Bronx. You know, um, and Queens, you don't mess with people from Queens. Let's just say this: 50 Cent, Nicki Minaj, and Donald Trump all from the Queens. Well, let me not say the Queens, but from Queens. I meant to say 50 Cent is from the South Side, and I believe so is Nicki Minaj. So people from Queens, don't mess with them. Don't mess with them at all. New Yorkers in general, don't mess with us. But people specifically from Queens, they will come for you. If they don't believe in forgiveness, they don't believe in any of that, they will. Yes, at times I can. Yes, indeed. Yeah. So where in New York are you from? If I may ask. My mother was from New York. Oh, okay, nice. That's very nice. I love that. But yeah, people. I can always tell because I live in Miami and I meet lots of New Yorkers. And when I meet a New Yorker, I can always tell where they're from. Like you're from Brooklyn, you're from Manhattan. Not even just from the accents, from the energy. The energy I could before they speak to me, I can tell. I know my people. I miss New York. I just don't want to go back when it's cold. It's just. Oh yeah, you did say you live in Washington Heights. Okay, great, awesome. Washington Heights is great. I lived there. I lived on. I remember the building too. It was 177 Haven. It was Haven and 177. I want to be close to the city. I get it. I do understand. It's far. Especially, I remember when I first moved to Washington Heights, right? And I lived there for a month with my sister. A month and a half, something like that. But when I saved money, I was so serious about saving. I saved. And I moved back to Brooklyn because I love Brooklyn. And I lived This is a crazy story. I follow this guy on. I used to. He used to work at a spinning studio that I used to go to in LA. Now he lives on the street I used to live on. Um, and when I first moved back to Brooklyn, crazy in Bushwick, and such a crazy life is so crazy. He was like, "Come back." I'm like, "No, I love Miami. I love the heat. I love I love Miami." So no, I will not go back to New York. I was considering it, because I was in a bad space in my life. I was at a horrible job. I was just trying to make the most of it, and I thought everybody was like that, but no, New York is not for me anymore. Maybe to visit. I always have, I'm from there. I was born there, so I always feel a special place in my heart. I was actually born in Flatbush. Funny, I was born in Flatbush. My parents used to live on DeKalb Avenue. But yes, so when I would go to see my sister, oh my, it would take me like 2 hours. Even when I go to Brooklyn now and I have to go see my family and then Harlem, I'm like, it takes me like 2 hours to get there. And people think, oh, the subway's easy. It's easy if you have to go like 30 minutes, an hour max. But if it's more than that, if you have to transfer 3 trains, it takes you the whole day. So I get it. Your therapist is in Flatbush. I give you props. I give you props. Because Flatbush is far. Off the G train, Flatbush is very, especially if you're in 191. Wow. That's almost the Bronx. This must be like the end of Washington Heights. Crazy. And yeah, I don't take the train on the weekend. Yeah, so when I would go see my sister on the weekends, and so I just stopped going to see her. She would come to me. I felt bad. And she used to work on Upper West Side. Yeah, Upper West Side? Yeah, Upper West Side. Because I used to go to school on the Upper East Side. So I used to take the bus across. I used to take the cross bus. It was so fun. Good times. Around the era of Gossip Girl. So I take a cross, cross city bus. And then that was easier. Like on 78th Street, they had a cross city bus. I'd take that. But even still, I would still be like, freaking hell. Because I would take the L train when I was in Bushwick. I'd take the L train to 14th Street. Then I would take 14th to, but even still, because sometimes the L train on the weekends take an hour. So it wasn't easy. So I applaud you. So I get it about wanting to move close to the city. I totally get it. I love Brooklyn. I love, love, love Brooklyn. That's the one place I would go back to in New York, especially Prospect Park, Crown Heights. I still live in Crown Heights and loved it. I love the park. I love being by nature. You say NYC is the only place where dating someone in another borough is considered a long distance relationship. That is real. That is so real. You know what I was thinking actually? Because I was looking at prices in New York. Because sometimes in my brain I'm like, I wonder what it'd be like to go back to New York. And then I look, because I follow this real estate agent on Instagram. And then sometimes when I'm doom scrolling at night, I'm like, okay, let me look. I actually saw a place in Flatbush because now all the apartments are renovated. Um, and it's like 2,000, 3,000. So there was this really nice apartment. It was a studio. And I was like, if you're in a relationship, then that's why a lot of people get into relationships so quickly in New York because then you can get a nice apartment, half it, and you're living in a nice area. Um, but even half of that would still be. It's just too expensive in New York for me now. I live a very good life in Miami. I'm very happy. I live right by the water in a nice neighborhood, safe neighborhood. So it's just not for me. I've outgrown New York, and I wanted to move back. Like I said, and my friend was like, "Why would you do that?" I said to her, "You were right." What's going on with me? But I just miss being around familiarity and family and friends. A lot of my good friends I made in New York. Because there's something special about New Yorkers, like really, really special about those people. They're just very, you know what you're gonna get. There's no surprises. Which Miami people like that too. I think after LA, I was like, I want to go back. But yeah, so you're right about the long distance. You're very, very, very right about that. I've thought about that. I was like, oh my gosh, that's why everybody moves in together, to save money. And we end up, I mean, I have my own stories I could get into one day. But this has been so fun, everybody. Thank you for joining. Oh, it's gone an hour and a half. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe it. But I'm gonna get back to my housewives and edit these videos I just recorded for you guys. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this live. I'm so grateful for every single one of you, and I will be back very soon. Members, I will be sending the commercial-free videos that are premiering this week tomorrow, so you'll get a notification if you remember. And thank you everybody for watching. I'm so grateful. Thank you. Sorry. No, please don't be sorry. And if you ever want to help me promote your business, I love to do that for my subscribers. Send me a message on Instagram. I'm not the best at replying. Instagram, this is the thing. When I enter Instagram, it's like my fantasy land. So I post and then I doom scroll. It's like my fantasy, you know? So with messages and stuff like that, I'm not that great at, or like having full conversations, I'm not really great at them on Instagram. So I'll try my best. But I'm just letting you know, if I don't reply, I have every goal of helping you, and I really, really want you to. So Miss J, please send me you might have to remind me, and it's not anything to do with you, so please feel free to do so. It's about me. With Instagram, I'm terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. So, it's just because you get so many notifications, you get this, you get that, you get, and then I caught myself the other day because I started looking. I was like, okay, I need to post. So I open it and I see these pictures of dogs. I'm like, these dogs are so cute. I'm like, no, post, post, post. I have to remind myself, post, post, post. I'm like, what did I come to Instagram to do? So if you send me a message, please, you might have to remind me. It's not about you. It's totally about me. It's something I have to work on. With my phone, I'm generally good. But when it comes to Instagram, I don't know what it is. There's just so much to do, I don't even have TikTok anymore. Like, it's the devil's playground. Okay, guys, it's been so lovely. So, Miss J, please send me a message. I really want to help you promote your business. It'd be my honor to help you. So please, if you want to, no pressure. Okay, everybody, I love you all. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys very soon. I'll go live very soon. I just don't know what my next week looks like. So I love you all. Take care.